Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Shadow Clan Den. Shadow Raven and Shadowfang here, and today we are going to be doing our top 10 cartoon villains. Now, this is a list that we're basing a lot of this off of what their overall goal is, but not all of them made the list for that reason. So we're going to just jump right in. And the very first one, at number 10, is Nergal. Now, I put this one on the list because I freaking love The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. This was one of my favorite cartoons when I was growing up, and Nergal, out of all of them, was my favorite villain, despite the fact that technically, due to the dark nature of the show in general, everyone can be called a villain. However, Nergal is the primary villain for a good portion of the series, and even though his ultimate goal is really just to make friends, the way he does it is probably what put him on this list in the first place. He basically tries to hypnotize everyone into being his friends. Eventually, obviously it does end up failing, but he ends up marrying Billy's Aunt Sis. So he actually does end up winning. he ends up winning in probably one of the best ways. But I personally think he's a hilarious character. He's definitely one of my favorite characters out of the whole series. So he had to make number 10. If he was going to make this list, he had to make number 10.
Number 9 is the Shredder. Kind of a simplistic villain overall. His main motivation is revenge. Basically, he wants to kill Splinter because Splinter's master took his girlfriend. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Like I said,
killed his older brother over a woman.
Yeah, very simple motivation. Towards the turtles, always disrupt his plans. But his overall target is Splinter. That's his overall objective, is to kill Splinter.
His motivation may be somewhat simple, but his plans are...
He's a good villain because of it.
And his plans are pretty freaking complex, plus the fact the guy practically never dies.
Yeah, and of course, he leads to the foot and all that stuff, so... Hopefully, when they bring him back to the big screen in the sequel, he's a lot better than he was in the last one.
No offense to the old ones, they're cheesy, but they're still good.
Awesome, but the one they made was 2014 or whatever. Movie flopped. I'm sorry to the fans of that movie watching this, but it was crap. I'm just telling you right now.
Even I didn't like it.
But anyway, the remake does look better, so hopefully they do a much better job. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Shredder, number 9.
Number 8 is Father from Kids Next Door. Now, his ultimate motivation is he just wants to destroy the kids next door so that adults can rule unopposed. However, I think it's really funny that Father himself is not only kind of a crazy character, which is one of the reasons why we like him.
Talk about a short temper.
Yeah, but no kidding. Yeah, talk about the whole hair on fire thing, kind of But one of the reasons that I think he's a fascinating character is that he is so childlike himself. Plus, if you've ever seen the actual movie, and if you haven't, I highly recommend it. So I'm going to put in a little spoiler alert here, just so you know. And if you don't want to hear the spoiler, just plug your ears or whatnot until I do something stupid. I don't know. But turns out, Father is actually number 1's uncle. Yeah, that was probably one of the weirdest things that I learned from the movie. But speaking of which, great movie. Go see it. But, yeah, I found out that Father was number 1's uncle, and I was kind of floored. And it kind of made me drawn to the character just a little bit more.
It's funny, because after the TV show, I thought he was related to number 5.
I know, right? You just think, but nope. There's, it's of all characters.
If he was related to somebody, I always thought it was number 5.
Yeah, but either way, freaking cool character, and the fact that he has all these different abilities and such, and then you find out that he is, even though he's an adult, he still retains a lot of his childhood currently. So, but he's a fun character. He really is.
I'll let you do number 7. I don't know anything about number 7.
You don't know anything about him?
I'm not a Sonic person.
Yeah, fair enough.
I like one character, okay? I don't like Sonic.
Number 7 is, for me, Dr. Robotnik. Now, I liked this character mainly because I watched the animated series in the 90s. That was probably the only time I ever actually liked Sonic. I'm not as much of a fan anymore. I do like the Sonic All-Stars racing game, but for me, Dr. Robotnik was probably one of my favorite 90s villains. he wanted to conquer the world and create his own Eggman empire. I mean, you know, that's the main reason he made it onto this list, is just world domination, which turns out is actually kind of a reoccurring thing. So don't be surprised if you're going to, because you are going to see that again on this list. But that's the main reason that Dr. Robotnik got on this list, was because of the whole world domination, creating his own empire kind of thing. But I also like him because he's one of those that's really mechanically inclined. He is a genius. His IQ is 300. He is the foremost authority on robotics in the series, which I think is really kind of cool. So having a genius villain, it's kind of a common thing, but I like the way that they did it here. And Dr. Robotnik is he made me laugh. He was one of those villains that I enjoyed watching because I thought he was funny.
I just find the whole show annoying.
Well,
like I said, I like the original Sonic games for the Sega Genesis console. But other than that, I'm not a Sonic person. I never have been. It's just I never got into it.
It's personal preference,
Yeah.
and I'm not really a fan anymore. But
yeah,
I still think he's a great character.
Number 6. Now this is one of my favorites. Ramona from Gargoyles.
Ah, man,
Right?
that's
And they're turning this into a live-action movie supposedly next year. Hallelujah! It should be awesome. Anyway,
if they do it right.
Ramona is genocide. That's what
Pretty
she
much.
wants to do. She wants to kill
The
all humanity and any good gargoyles that get in her way. She wants gargoyles to completely
Pretty much.
rule the planet. That's pretty much what it comes down to. You know, she was Goliath's wife back in the day, and turns out when they waked up again, she kind of stabs Goliath in the back and
Multiple times.
multiple times. Yep. Yeah, very good villain. I like the way they did her. Her cleverness standpoint isn't all that great because most of her cleverness comes from other people that she works with, but her overall plan is very good. That's definitely number 6, and of course she's got the physical strength and the presence of a gargoyle on top of that. So, a good villain, a lot of fun.
Guess what? You get to do number 5 for the same reason I did number 7.
Now this is not my favorite villain on this list, but my favorite cartoon by far. Mumra from Thundercats. I love Thundercats so much. Freaking awesome. I like how Mumra has 2 forms. Basically, he wants
Technically, he has 3. There's actually a 3rd form that I read about earlier.
Well, I've never seen it, so I'm going out for the 2.
Yeah, because there's the classic Mumra, the emaciated mummy, and then there's Mumra, the ever-living. And then there's a 3rd one that's actually reputed to be even stronger than the ever-living.
They might have done that in the new remake.
Yeah, it's later in the series, if I remember correctly.
Thanks. Anyway,
I'll take your word for it.
Basically what he wants to do is he wants to steal the Eye of Thundera to use it to spread
the influence of the ancient spirits of
all
evil.
over the planet. Because he is a prodigy,
demon priest.
prodigy of the ancient spirits of evil, and he wants to spread their evil throughout Third Earth, which is awesome.
For a villain, it's awesome.
It's funny though because the reason I like Mumra is because he's stubborn. He knows that he can't. That he finds out. I think near the end of the first volume of the first season, and that's like episode 8. He finds out that you can't use the Eye of Thundera for evil, right? And but he doesn't give up. He keeps on trying to do this and that, and it's kind of dumb, but it's kind of cool that he doesn't give up on his resolve. So that's,
at the very least, you have to give the guy credit for for his persistence.
But yeah, definitely Mumra, the Ever Living or the original, whichever. Definitely a good villain and number 5 on our list. What?
Have fun with number 4. Once again, that's your forte, not mine.
Number 4 is Darkside. This is probably one of DC's best villains overall. This guy lives on a planet called Apocalypse, and he wants to basically just rule the universe with an iron fist. That's pretty much what he wants to do.
His ultimate goal, stated from what I saw earlier, he wants to conquer the universe and eliminate all free will.
Yeah, he wants to control everything and everybody. Very evil person or being or whatever the hell he is.
He is the personification of tyranny.
He is
basically
the only villain that has managed to take control of Superman's mind and use him to almost fully conquer planet Earth. The only reason that Clark turned out of it, I believe it was a combination of Jimmy and Lois, if I remember correctly. And maybe his mom too. But either way, they finally got him sent out of it, and he actually ended up saving the planet instead of destroying it. But Darkseid is a very good villain, very powerful. His Omega beam that he shoots out of his eyes is pretty insane. Yeah, that's a good villain. Just wants to control and destroy everything. So here you go.
Number 3 is Dr. Paradigm from Street Sharks. Now, this is a show that I actually did not watch until recently. This one over here, he grew up on it.
One of my favorites.
And Dr. Paradigm's goal is to enslave humanity by turning them into Seviots. In other words, genetically altering them. Now, I personally think he is a hilarious villain because he's one of those villains that usually the hero has the great reputation and the villain has the bad reputation. In this particular show, that is reversed. The heroes have the bad reputation, the villain has the good reputation, and I actually love that. I know it happens in a few other shows, but it's really prominent in Street Sharks, and I absolutely love it for that reason. Also, when there's one episode where Dr. Paradigm's plan is to remove the Street Sharks' morals and their loyalty by injecting piranha DNA into them. This whole episode goes horribly wrong for him. He ends up injecting himself, and because the DNA itself is super unstable, he changes into Dr. Paranoid when he gets really, really, really pissed off. And it's probably one of the funniest transformations I have ever seen.
Especially like in the next episode when the Sharks know about this, they give him so much crap for that. It's so funny. They make him change on purpose
because it's funny.
It's funny. It's awesome.
Really is. I mean, that's probably one of the highlights. I love the show.
I'm kind of hoping that someone either finds some hidden episodes of this, or if they remake it, because there's a lot of it's not finished.
Yeah.
Alright, the way they end it makes no sense. And there's a lot of stuff in that show that doesn't make any sense to what the overall main plot is. So, like I said, I'm kind of hoping they either redo this or find some hidden episodes somewhere to try and fill in some of those gaps. I love Street Sharks. Probably the only spin-off of the Turtles that was actually good and worth watching. They're very similar, except the Sharks don't like pizza.
Oh, they freaking hate pizza. For them, it's burgers and shakes.
So, there we go.
Number 2. Now we're getting to the top 2. This one was a pretty close race for numbers 1 and 2. Number 2 is Slade from Teen Titans. Good God, I grew up watching this show.
All he wants to do is kill the Titans. No one knows why. I have a feeling that somehow he's related to Robin.
You know, I actually kind of get that same feeling, especially since that Robin was his first unwilling apprentice. So it kind of makes you wonder. You never actually see
the thing I like most about Slade, and this is the only reason he made it this far up on the list, that no other villain has been able to do this, he almost gets Raven to go fully demonic and complete Armageddon, and basically create Armageddon. Mm-hmm. He gets so close. If I remember correctly, she actually dismantled Cyborg and almost. I think the only one that got through to her was Starfire, if I remember correctly.
I don't.
It's like a 5-episode arc, and it's freaking awesome. It's near the end of the series. He almost gets her to go full demonic and destroy the planet. It's freaking awesome. It's almost kind of creepy, but it's very good. That's the only reason he made it this high up on the list.
Yeah, Plus, one of the reasons I love him is because that he is at least in the show, he is a criminal mastermind. He's cunning, he's intelligent, he never goes into a fight without the advantage. As soon as the advantage is gone, he's out. Which, I guess you could kind of call him a chicken for that. It's not that he's a chicken, he just doesn't like getting his hands dirty. He prefers to let all of his minions do that.
Yeah.
But because of that, he is so intimidating. He's one of those that he just stands there and you start getting nervous because it's like, oh my God, he's here. Yeah, he's one of the characters that has that kind of influence. And I was always really impressed with him. I always thought he was one of my favorite villains of the show. But he is definitely a badass.
He's the best villain in the show.
He is. He really is.
The only other one that comes close is Killer Moth. All the other villains of that show are kind of lame.
Yeah, but Slade is definitely the winner on that one.
Now, number 1,
Oh,
is
man.
my favorite villain of probably my second favorite show. So that's kind of funny. But either way, Skeletor from He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Both the original and the remake were done very well. I'm not the remake of Thundercats, like I said. But the remake of He-Man was very good. Skeletor in both of them is pretty much the same. He wants to take the power for the elders for himself and conquer Endor, and then go on from there to basically controlling the universe. What Skeletor wants to do.
Well, he wants to start off with Eternia and then just expand from there.
One thing that puts him at number one, he does this better than any other villain out there. He tortures, okay? He doesn't just punish his minions. He will torture them. All right, he almost sends Ramona or whatever the heck.
Evil Lyn,
that's her name. He almost sends Evil Lyn to this freaking banished dimension to die. Okay? Like, all that just for, what she do, lie to him or something? Yeah. She lied to him, and he's like, oh, I'm going to banish you to this freaking demonic dimension. Ooh.
And a lot of the time, what they do is fairly minor, and he just goes freaking all out punishment.
Triclops just the worst of it.
Yeah, Triclops.
If his inventions don't work, he gets punished.
Yeah. You actually get to a point where even though you don't like Triclops, you actually kind of feel bad for him because Skeletor is so.
And I think he ends up killing Merman.
I don't remember.
Because you remember the one where Merman stole that red stone, and He-Man and Man of Arms get swallowed in that giant thing. I think after that, I don't think you see Merman again. I'm gonna have to rewatch and find out, but I think that's Merman's last episode.
Wow.
For stealing the crystal.
Well, if that's the case, then Skeletor would make the list for killing one of his own minions. Because that's something I've never seen before.
I'm going to have to double check, but I think that is Merman's last episode.
And if that's the case, then yes, then we can just assume that Skeletor killed him.
Mm-hmm.
That, for me, would put Skeletor at number one anyway, because as far as I've seen, there has never been a villain that has killed one of their own minions. Now, if Skeletor actually killed one of his own minions, yeah, we're definitely going to have to look that up.
Supposedly they're going to be doing another live-action movie of this. Chris Hemsworth is supposed to play He-Man, and please do a better job, Skeletor. Please.
Make him out to
the
be
1984 movie. Skeletor was trapped.
He was very disappointed, I guess.
Okay? Dolph Lundgren's He-Man was decent. Skeletor was shit. So, if they redo this movie, please do a better job, Skeletor. So,
because he's a really awesome
villain.
He's an awesome full-fleshed villain. Totally cruel, maniacal. He can be done well, but you just need the right actor to portray it. But because of his tyranny, his cruelty to his own minions, and his overall motivation to, rule the world, we had to put Skeletor at number one. And that, for us, was our top 10 cartoon villains. If you liked it, leave a like and a comment. And if you would like to, share, subscribe, all the wonderful stuffs. And we shall see you again next time. Happy hunting!
Bye.